staff will push boundaries until you push them back in their box. So when you are controlling a team of people, or you have direct reports, people who are reporting to you, you've got to make sure that those managers are dealing with the staff correctly. And it's kind of like children. So if you've ever run a large team, you'll know and understand that sometimes it's like a kindergarten in there. But just as with children, children will push the boundaries until you push them back in their box. And it's just the nature of children, is that they don't know where their parameters are, so they assume that they can go as far as they will go until you say, no, that's enough, that's dangerous, or, I don't like that, or whatever. You build the parameters and they live inside those parameters. And but they will continuously test those parameters until they get the message, okay, that is gone too far. And it's the same with teams, right? It's the same with people. They don't know what they're allowed and not allowed to do, or how they should address or not address somebody, or what they can get away with, until you set those parameters. So that's the job of your manager, is to make sure those parameters are adhered to, so that the team know exactly what they can and cannot do. So one of the failings of new managers is they will say, Mark said to do this. Now that's a sign of weakness in a manager. A good manager will tell somebody to do something, and the person they're telling should feel like it's coming from them. If the manager abdicates responsibility and says, so-and-so told me to do this, that's a sign that you got a weak manager, or the manager hasn't been trained properly. And I remember in my career in casinos, when I was a young man, as I was moving up the ladder, the pit boss had told me to give the dealer an instruction. And I said, Johnny over there said you got to do this. And the manager who overheard this came over to me and he said, Mark, you can never be a manager. You can never get respect from the people if they think that the instruction comes from someone else. Just make sure they think it comes from you. And I took that lesson to heart. And that was one of the reasons why I had a really successful career when I was in that industry. No one was in any doubt who the instruction came from that moment on. Whenever I had to do something, I would tell the person, you need to do it this way. That's the process. That's the procedure. Just do it that way. And they would even ask me, why? Did somebody ask you to tell me? I'd tell them, no, I'm telling you. That's the way that it should be done. So, but young managers, particularly if they're young, struggle with that sometimes. And it's your job as the owner to, kind of bring them on, to inform them, to guide them, to show them that the team's got to know that if you're not there, then the thing is in good hands. So the assistant manager, or whoever's controlling that particular organization, the team's got to feel as though they are just as responsible, that manager is just as responsible as if you, the owner, were there. They've got to love that business. There's an old saying, every business must have a mother or a father, and preferably both. So I hope that tip helps about how management attitude should be towards teams, or what I believe it should be towards teams. And if you like these tips, then subscribe and give me some feedback. Thanks for listening.